Good evening. We're standing on the threshold of Chodesh Adar. Mi shenichnas Adar marbim b'simcha. We're about to enter the month of happiness, the month where we increase joy. But before joy comes something else. Tonight I want to talk about a sound we have all heard. You're driving, you miss a turn, you take the wrong exit, you ignore very clear directions. And suddenly, in a calm, neutral voice, recalculating. No yelling, no panic. No, you're a terrible driver. The yelling and the panic, your wife makes sure to do that for you, not waste. I'm sure I'm the only Jew in the world that when my Rebbetzin, she sits next to me, she should live and be well. You know how much I love her. And that's why I can share this with you. So whenever she sits next to me, before the Waze starts talking, she tells me where to turn, when to turn. I told her it's hard to listen to two Rebbetzins at the same time. You know, to her and Rebbetzin ways. Actually, whenever I'm changing lanes, she looks at the right mirror just in case I missed it. I know she does it because she loves me so much. And here comes the best part. Whenever I don't slow down half a mile before a stop sign or a red light, she goes like this. She stretches out her left hand. So I told her once that I was going to make my car into a shul. And she asked me, what do you mean? I told her, yeah, I'm going to put a mechitza here between the front seats, no more double voices, and no more hand stretching. So, recalculating. No yelling, no panic. No, you're a terrible driver. In this week's parasha, Parashat Mishpatim, the Torah begins, Ve'ele amishpatim asher tasim lifneihem. And these are the laws that you shall place before them. And what's the very first case? Im tikneh eved ivri. If you acquire a Hebrew servant, an eved ivri, a slave. Now, how did he become a slave? He was a Jewish thief. He stole money. He couldn't pay back. So he decides to become the eved, the slave of the guy who he stole from. Incredible. What a great way to start the parasha. A man who stole, a man who couldn't repay, a man who fell. The author of Kelem asks, why start here? Why open such a beautiful parasha with failure? Why not begin with something inspiring? There are so many beautiful mitzvot in this parasha. Like when you lend money to the poor, when you give tzedakah, being good to widows and orphans, all kinds of laws of kindness. Why start with the criminal? Because the Torah is teaching you something radical. Hashem is our Father. Abinu Shebashamayim. And when a father walks into a room full of children, who does he look at first? The one who needs him the most. The one struggling. The one embarrassed. The one who made the mistake. The good boys, they'll be fine. Don't worry about that. But the one who needs him the most, that's the first child that he looks at. The Torah begins with the thief because Hashem begins with the fallen. Let's take a look at the world system of what happens with a thief. In the world system, what do we do with a thief? We shame him, we lock him up, And we surround him with worse criminals. Amazing. Great roommates. Amazing chavrutot, learning partners. He walks into jail and he starts sharing with everyone what he did. And then the rest of the criminals start telling him, we did something even better than you. And they even give him ideas that he never thought of. So he comes out with a PhD of how to become a better criminal because of all the great ideas, the new ideas that his amazing roommates in chavrutot.
Prison is a college for criminals.
There you go. So in this college, he's learning amazing techniques that he never dreamt of and that he would have never learned if not for jail. So he comes out harder, angrier, more broken. It becomes a cycle. But Hashem says, not in my world. Instead of prison, he goes into a Jewish home. A healthy home, a dignified home. This guy, he's so embarrassed, he stole. And he thinks, this guy that I stole from, he's for sure gonna beat the kishkes out of me. And the first reaction is, no. You're actually gonna move into my house and I'm gonna support you. And you're gonna eat with my family, with me, in our table. You're gonna be Shabbat with us, you're not going to the kitchen. And you're gonna spend time with us. And you're gonna learn what it means to be a nice, healthy person with a beautiful family. Not only that, if the thief was married and he had children, his whole family will move into the house with him. Unlike, obviously, a regular prison. And this guy will be, okay, fine. So he's gonna take me to his house. He's for sure gonna ask me to clean the toilets and to shine his shoes every single day and to wash the car. You're not allowed to do that. You cannot ask the Eved, the servant, to do anything that will be embarrassing for him. So he only does the good jobs. He works in the field with you. He helps you with your business. And you teach him how to become a mensch, how to become a good person. Not only that, the Gemara says, Kana Eved, Kana Adon Le'atzmo. One who acquires a Hebrew servant acquires a master over himself. What does that mean? Let's say you only have one fancy schmancy bed. Only one in the house. The rest are like yeshiva type of beds. So guess what? Your Eved, your slave gets to sleep on the fancy schmancy bed and you go to the yeshiva beds. If you sleep on two Sfera Utopia grade A Icelandic eider down $5,800 pillows. I did my research, okay? So he gets to sleep on the $5,800 pillows. If you eat Delmonico steak, he gets the Delmonico steak. Don't give him the gefilte fish that looks like a lab's experiment. Don't give him that. If you drink good wine, good whiskey, he gets to drink with you. If you have good biltong, he gets the biltong. Even my biltong that I made, well, it's our biltong because Dan helped me to make it. It's going to come out nice, B'ezrat Hashem. Thank you, Dan. You know what that means? This is not punishment. This is dignity. This is rehabilitation through love, through Shabbat, through family, through example, through warmth. And when he leaves, you don't send him empty-handed. You have to give him money so he can start his new life now. Let me ask you a question. How much money do they give to prisoners when they come out of jail?
$20.
Not too much.
You wish.
$20 and a bus ticket. That's it.
Yeah, okay. And they don't have money, and now they learned new techniques how to become better criminals. So what do you think they're going to do? Now, I'm not trying to change the US law, and I'm not going to be able to make it. I mean, I don't think anybody will have Maduro for Friday night dinner on Shabbat. I don't think that would happen. But we're trying to understand Hashem's, God's infinite wisdom. And what the Torah obviously is teaching us through this parasha. These parashot are not stories. You know, people read this parashot and they're like, what in the world does a slave have to do? There's no slavery nowadays. What does a servant have to do, Eved Ivri, have to do with me? What's Hashem trying to teach me through this parashot? So when he leaves the Eved Ivri, you don't send him empty-handed. You give him generously. You give him a future. Because Hashem does not believe in writing off people. Hashem does not believe in writing people off. He believes in recalculating. This parasha is not about a thief. It's about us. Maybe we didn't steal money, but we've stolen time. We've stolen potential. We've stolen opportunities. We've made wrong turns, spiritual detours. And the Yetzer Hara whispers, you blew it. You're not built for greatness. Look at you. Who are you? You think that you're going to accomplish anything? You think you're going to achieve anything? Look what you have done. Look who you are. Look what you're holding. You're not getting anywhere. So just give up. But the Torah opens Mishpatim and says, no. Your fall is not your identity. Your fall is the beginning of your recalculation. I want to ask you a question. And I want to hear some interesting answers. What is a tzaddik? What's the definition of a tzaddik?
Learner?
Good man.
Good. One who falls several times and try again.
Thank you very much. Okay, we have hidden Rebbetzins here that people don't know about. No, she's 100% right. The pasuk says, "Tzaddik shevipol vekam."
7 times, right?
Right. The tzaddik could fall 7 times and he'll get back up. Okay, we're not going to cheat with the smartest in the class, so let's fake it as if we didn't hear the answer yet from Leti. So someone said over here, a learned person. What did you guys say?
A good person.
A good person. A good person. So that's what we all think, and that's what we would have. That's what we have been taught since we were little. Tzaddik, tzaddik means somebody basically perfect. He's amazing. He does everything right, and he's the greatest person on earth. The altar of Novardok says something life-changing. We think a tzaddik is someone perfect, never slips, never struggles, never doubts. No. A tzaddik is not someone who reached perfection. A tzaddik is someone who keeps working. That's a tzaddik. Someone who keeps trying. Someone who keeps getting back up. Greatness is not never falling. Greatness is standing up again. Greatness is hearing recalculating and choosing to keep driving. There's a beautiful midrash. There's a very interesting midrash, beautiful midrash. I quote, the midrash on Bereshit Rabbah 10:6 says, Amar Rabbi Simon. Rabbi Simon said, En lecha kol esev ve'esev she'en lo mazal barakia shemake oto ve'omer lo gedal. I translate. There is not a single blade of grass that does not have a mazal, also understood as a malach, an angel, a special angel, that strikes it and says to it, grow. Every blade of grass has a special angel, has an angel that strikes it and says, grow. And let me ask on this midrash, why strike it? Just say grow. Because before every growth comes a strike. Before every expansion comes pressure. Before every new level comes discomfort. You're upset about the strike, but heaven is preparing your growth. Sometimes you think you're breaking, but you're expanding. Sometimes you think you're falling, but heaven is rearranging your road. Some of the most beautiful roads in life can only be discovered after getting lost. I once told my vocal coach something he loved. I said, no singer discovers the full range of his voice until he hears himself crack. You don't discover your strength until you meet weakness. You don't discover resilience until you fall. You don't discover greatness until you survive a recalculation. So my dear friends, we were not sent into this world to remain comfortable. We were sent here to grow, to fall, to rise, to reset, to grow again. Every one of us has an Eved Ivri chapter. A chapter where we fall off course. We feel small, we feel embarrassed. But Hashem does not begin with your success. He begins with your recovery. Because that's where greatness is born. So the next time you fall, the next time you miss the turn, I gotta share this with you. It happened to me during my driver's test on the DMV. I didn't miss a turn, but I made a right turn in an intersection without the examiner telling me to turn right. You know, I saw the DMV on my right, and I wanted to finish the the test already. And I thought, Baruch Hashem, I'm coming out of hell, I'm going to paradise. And she looked at me and she's like, no, I never say you should turn right. Keep on going. Fine. You know, Baruch Hashem, I've been driving for 20 years. I know how to drive. So you could imagine how boring was the test for the examiner and for me. At a certain point, the examiner, she felt like she wanted to start a conversation with me. So she asked me, what do you do for a living? So I told her, I'm a rabbi. She looks at me and she asks me, are you Jewish? I thought to myself, thank God she's testing me driving and I'm not testing her on religions, because otherwise I would have failed her right away. Anyways, she looks at me and she asks me, so Rabbi, you don't believe in Jesus? Trust me, it was the longest test and the longest ride I ever had in my life. By far was the longest drive I've ever done. 20 minutes that felt like 2 hours at least. As soon as we got to the parking lot of the DMV, so she looked at me and she said, Rabbi, congratulations, you've passed the test. And I looked at her and I said, Baruch Hashem. So the next time you fall, the next time you miss the turn, the next time life doesn't go according to plan, listen carefully. You may just hear a gentle voice from heaven saying, recalculating. Not rejecting you, not replacing you, recalculating you. Because in the eyes of our Father, Avinu Shebashamayim, you are never disqualified from greatness as long as you're still willing to keep driving. Please remember this for the rest of your lives. And I'll end off with this line. The holiest people are not those who never fall, but those who turn every fall into a new direction toward greatness. Thank you very much for listening. and have a great night.